Hi, this is Jake from ColdWarCollectors, and I'm kicking off a new segment we're calling Webbing Wednesdays, which means video every Wednesday of a different webbing set from a different country. And I'm starting it off this week with the Czechoslovakian webbing. Now, as far as I know, there's no real name for it. It could be VZ60, but I kind of doubt that. So, for the purpose of the video, we'll just call it the Czechoslovakian webbing. And, yeah. So I got it set up right now for 1970s. And it could be set up for 1980s very easily, and I'll go over that. I have a few other accessories to show off as well. I have the rucksack, which would attach to the Y-straps, and I have the chemical suit. And so, let's get into it. So this webbing set right here is all, I'm pretty sure it's all 70s dated stuff, except for the gas mask bag. This setup came in to issue in the early 70s, and the main difference coming into the 70s was the beginning issue of a double pocket gas mask bag for your chemical suit, and new Y-straps, which, unlike the old ones, are made out of cloth. So they had their cloth straps that came down, and then but they still retained the middle leather strap. And you can see it's 1973 dated. That was mainly the only difference. And this is how it would be set up. So it's pretty basic and simple. It's much like the German World War II style. You would have your belt loops, with D-rings, which these would attach to. You would wear two in a combat situation because there is already a ring attached to the ammo pouch. So for combat, you'd wear two. So you'd wear one on your left side next to your bayonet, and then you wear one in the middle for your middle strap. And if you weren't in combat, and you're just wearing your belt and Y-straps, you'd have a third one you'd put on in place of your ammo pouch. Now, they also had these straps, which came back behind you and would attach to your rucksack. So, your rucksack, much like the East German one, you would attach it to your Y-straps with these D-rings up here. And then, this example I have is actually a pair of Y-straps, but someone who sold it to me had cut off the hooks part, so it's just made for a backpack now. But you would attach the top, which are these, to this, and then these straps come around the bottom and attach to the backpack, which are these straps right here. These are the ones that got cut off, which these. Now, when you weren't wearing your rucksack, which was most of the time, your rucksack was always staying in the vehicle, or, just you didn't have it because that was your major pack. You just wouldn't wear it. So what the Czechoslovakians would do, they would take the extra strap and they'd bring it over and they'd hook it to their belt for extra suspension, and it gets the strap out of the way from just dangling all over the place, which I think is really cool because it does really help keep everything together much better. And unlike the East German one, which doesn't have a hook, it just has a D-ring, it won't dangle around and get in the way and clink on things, which the East German one does. So I like that a lot. Now to the contents of the belt. You have your VZ58 bayonet right here. Now this one it's like brand new leather or something, but I can't get this buttoned up. It's too tight, so I keep it unbuttoned for now until I eventually train the leather. But, there's your bayonet. Now this is kind of the stuff I went over in my last video on my Czech impression. This is kind of an update as well, because I have newer things. Here's your canteen. Now it's pretty basic canteen. You have your aluminum canteen with your wool cover that buttons up, and you have this leather kind of skeleton harness. And it attaches to the belt just in the back really simply. And then for 70s, for 70s until the early 80s, used a cork. And it had the string that attaches to this side here, and so you don't lose it. I like this canteen a lot because all you gotta do is unbutton this and pull it over and the canteen comes out, so you don't have to take the whole thing off like the East German one or other ones. So it's really simple. It comes off easy, no hassle. The E-tool is a standard long shovel, long handle rather, and it's kind of, I like this a lot because it has a quick release. So it's like the German World War II. You have it there, and then you just unbutton this, and this pops down, and you just pull it down. So you don't have to mess with pulling it up and out or anything. It's just, you can be quick with that. You can just pull it down, and it comes right out, and it's easy access. I really like that a lot. And then here's your VC58 ammo pouch, 4-cell, standard. Nothing real special about that. And then your web belt, of course. Mine's missing a lot of the paint on the buckle, but that's basic web belt. Your gas mask bag, like I said, for the 70s into the early the 70s all the way through the 80s, they used this double pouch bag. So you would have your M10 in here, because the M10 started being issued in the early 70s. And originally, like in my other video, it's a single pouch. And so you'd have your M10 in here, and then you would attach your big chemical suit, like the East German one, to the back of your webbing, back of your Y straps. But they did away with that and made for a smaller, more compact, kind of easier suit. Although, having got it out and played with it, I think it wouldn't really protect anyone from anything, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this would be your standard double pouch bag. It has a shoulder strap that would go over your shoulder, and you also have waist strap. And these bags would also have loops for your belt, but they were never ever worn like that. Not that we've seen or anything yet, so perhaps, maybe, but they were there anyways for extra security, which is cool. So it means the bag ain't really going anywhere. I have the bag set up like this just to show you the contents of the webbing, but realistically you would be wearing it like that. The top of the bag would be flush with your belt, but that covers up some of the stuff, so I have it like this. So in here you'd have your M10, and then as you got through the 80s, your M10M. So this is a 1982 dated bag. I have my M10 in here, and my military issue filters. So there's your M10, and then yeah, there's the filters. I haven't opened any of this yet, and I don't think I will, so for demonstrations I'll show you guys my M10M, which is still just perfectly correct, but we're going to turn it into the 80s now. Okay, so anyways, onto our chemical suit. This is the chemical suit right here. It's a big one-piece, really like thick plastic suit. I have my M10M sitting in there for the face, and this is a VZ85 gas mask bag, but those were hardly ever used, so it's just there for demonstration. But this is your suit. It's one size fits all. It's just massive. It's not very protective, I don't think. It's not going to have a real good seal at the top either, because Czechoslovakians didn't have a hood for their M10s, so, I mean, this doesn't seal very well, and so, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me. I don't think it would work too well. But along with this, you would also get, in these two pockets underneath, and you would get, let's see if I can get it out here. You get a pair of booties to tie up your leg and go on your feet. And then your other pouch, you get gloves. So, yeah. Kind of a cool set. But anyways, now we're going to change this real quick over to an 80s loadout. So, once the M10Ms came into play in like 1983, I think, things started to change. You still used this, though, even though VZ85 was starting to come out, but that was hardly ever used. You still used this. You still used your VZ60 rain camo. However, you'd have your M10M. Now, along with the M10M, since it has the ability to have a drinking tube, canteens started changing. So they stuck with the same canteen, however they replaced the cork with a plastic canteen cover. So this one you would flip open like this. And hard to do with one hand, but it has your sealing mechanism in there. And then you'd stick your straw in there. And it seals just by pressing in. So it's kind of like in plastic cork, basically. It doesn't screw on, it just presses on. So you have it like that. And that's really the changes for the 80s. You would just have your M10M, and then you'd have a new cap for your canteen. And it's really the only changes that ever happened until the post-communist era. Alright. So, thank you for joining me on Webbing Wednesday. We will be back next Wednesday with another webbing set. Haven't a clue who that will be yet, but we will see. We got some great pieces of webbing coming up. Some you might have seen already, but we'll just go into more detail on. Some East German. It's probably more American. I'll do a Romanian one. And we may see an Iraqi full webbing, which would be really interesting. So, I thank you for watching. And if you like the content, make sure to subscribe. And you could like us on Facebook as well, ColdWarCollectors. And it'd be awesome if you support us. Alright, thank you.